right, boys. Welcome back.
Welcome.
Good morning.
Episode 13.
Good morning. It's 7 a.m. on Friday, October 8th.
Earliest podcast we've ever done by a long shot.
Yes, and for good reason.
For good reason.
I'm impressed with you, Jay. You made it.
I made it. Yeah, I'm a late sleeper. I ain't going to lie. But, yeah, we woke up early. This is our 13th episode, which they say most podcasts die before the 13th episode specifically. Mm-hmm. So
it's our second go around.
It's our second go.
We're on a great trajectory.
We're like on 27. Who knows?
Speaking of trajectories and, just like, visual planes and stuff and all this, we have a very interesting guest on here today.
Yes, we do.
He was on your sister's podcast, right?
Yes. Yep.
Annie's
absolutely.
podcast.
Nobody's pod.
The Nobody's pod. And we were referred to this guy who I guess is very, very, he's a trailblazer in terms of the flat earth community.
Yes.
We obviously, I think since we've been young, we've all grown up and believed that the earth is a globe and never really thought anything other than that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's what you're taught in school. And like, what do you learn in science? Maybe at like what in 9 or 10
or
years?
7.
Okay, yeah. It's
early.
just like,
the earth is a ball. And
like
I think,
Galileo.
we're all pretty convinced of that. But today we have on Flat Earth Dave. Everybody give him a hand.
Woo!
And
Thanks,
he is going to tell us otherwise.
Here's a question for you.
What's up, Dave? How you doing, man?
When were you good? I'm doing great. When were you first told that the Earth was a globe or shown? And did they show you anything other than cartoons?
Well, I
can
think
answer that for you.
Yeah.
It's before you could talk. Your parents probably hung a solar system mobile over your head.
wow.
You probably had NASA sheets growing up as a kid.
Oh, yeah.
When you go to school, your teacher in kindergarten and first grade is a god to you, right? Oh my God.
Of course.
School.
An all-knowing being,
And
yeah.
They have a globe in the front of the class, and one of the first worksheets that you brought home was orbits of the sun, the moon. The moon goes around the Earth, and the Earth goes around the sun. That is one of the first worksheets you got. So this is called indoctrination from a young, from infancy. You've been indoctrinated into believing this, and at the end of the show, because everyone goes, all right, I give up. Why the lie? Why would they lie? And how do they keep this secret? We'll get into that after I show you the lie.
Okay, that's good to know. Because, yeah, in my personal, experience, I went into my grade school classroom. There was a globe there, like a
always a
physical
globe.
one. And,
I had one at home.
he's right. That's
Yeah,
that's
same.
what we've been taught our entire lives. And, I still, right now, I think I have, maybe 2% in me. I'm going to let you know how my gauge changes throughout this conversation.
Right.
I think maybe, 2% of me could possibly believe that the earth is flat right now.
But I
right now at
also
this point in
see
time.
why it's so hard for us to believe it is because just like Dave said, it's been hammered into our minds for 25 years, or 20 years, the instant you step into a school or you go in, even in your house, we had globes, of course we think it's round because that's all we know.
Yeah, I mean, I guess
every movie, every television show, they all have globes in them. When you watch the news, what kind of news is it? It's the global news, the global network news. Spinning globes, all animation, right? But never a video. Why don't we have a video of the Earth spinning from the moon or from a satellite or from anything? There are none. NASA doesn't have any. Film directors have called NASA and said, hey, I'm doing a film. Can I have some footage of the Earth spinning? And all we get is stuff like this, okay? This, you guys are clear that this is
animated,
done in Blender.
yes.
So
Dave, my question to you is: when did you first get tipped off to this? When did you start questioning what you were taught as a youngin? And when did this become a thing that started festering in your brain and you started diving into this world? I'm very curious about your origins.
2015. So 2012, 13, 14, 15, I was doing a podcast out of Stand Up New York Comedy Club podcast studio called Deep Inside the Rabbit Hole, and we were looking into all of the deceptions of the world. I don't know, we're not going to get into them in this show, but there's lots of deceptions out there. Basically, anything big that you saw in the news is a lie. But so we're into all of those, and then people started sending me flat Earth stuff, and I'm like, oh, you're an idiot. And I just delete, and then they keep sending them, and they post on our social media, and I was like, okay, you're banned from ever posting on our social media again, and if I could ban you from watching our podcast, I don't need people that stupid watching my podcast.
Wow.
Because you're thinking the Earth is flat is absolutely ridiculous. We all know the Earth is a globe because boats go over the horizon, and ships go over the horizon, and Aristophanes from Greece figured it out 2,000 years ago with his sticks and shadows and seasons and day and night and all of this stuff. And then I was forced to look by another researcher that I trust very much. And I went in with a closed attitude. You guys have an open mind. You're like, hey, Dave, we're open-minded. I went in with a closed mind. I said, I'm just going to prove the globe and put all these flat tards to out the pasture.
Flat.
And that was 7 years ago, whatever. And here I am. I had my own company. I was doing super well. I live in Fairfield County. Everything was great. And I walked away from it all to spread this message because, as we're going to find out by the end, this is the most important deception of all. And it's why the world is in the sad shape that it is right now. And I don't mean shape, the
state of the world.
State of the world. It's because people are lost. People are lost, spinning out of control, lost in space. They have no idea where they are.
Wow, that's crazy. So this is a recent thing. This wasn't something that like happened in your college years. So this is literally 6 years ago, is what you're saying. You've been teed up.
2015 is when I started looking into it, and once you see it, you can't unsee it. So boys, you got up early today. Nice. Your whole world is going to change. You are never going to wake up the same again.
Jesus
Every
Christ,
day
Dave.
you wake up now, you're going to have wonder in your eyes. You're going to have thoughts in your head, and you're going to want to exercise your God-given brain to think about these things, and you're going to use your God-given eyes to see things that are right in front of your face. You guys know the documentary with Keanu Reeves called The Matrix?
Yeah.
Of course. You call it a documentary. Why is this?
Because it's a documentary. So at the beginning of the movie, the original movie, Neo is he's depressed. He's in his room. He's sleeping a lot. Something's wrong with the world. He's trying to figure it out. And a lot of the depression in this world is because of the same thing. People are lost. They don't know where they are. They don't know who they are. They don't know what this world is. So then compare Neo at the end of the movie after he's unplugged from the mind matrix.
Right.
And he figured out who he is, where he is, what he is, and the power of his mind. Put those two Neos next to each other. One of them, you can kick his ass. The other one, he's on the top of the world.
So you're saying we may be able to dodge bullets by the end of this episode?
Absolutely. 100%.
Let's go,
Guaranteed. Guaranteed. And you guys should test it out when we're done. If anyone has a gun, try it. Okay? Kidding. Nobody shoot anybody.
Shit, I vote
Nobody
Sammy.
shoot anybody.
I'll do the gun and you'll be the guinea pig, all right?
Yeah. No, nobody's dodging bullets. It's just you will we'll get into that. We'll get into it.
So I see this diagram behind you. Yeah, let's get into this. What is the basis of flat Earth and everything that you're about?
Yeah, this is not flat Earth. This is what you've been brainwashed into believing flat Earth is. Okay, so this is not. We're not a disc in space. The only people that believe that we're a disc in space like that is people that don't know that think the Earth is a globe and think flat Earth is stupid. This is stupid. Nobody thinks this other than globe believers. So what is flat Earth? Let me ask you a question. When it rains, where does the water accumulate? Very easy question. It accumulates where? At the top of a hill?
No.
Bottom.
Bottom
Bottom of the hill.
Gravity.
And what contains the water? Like you have a puddle. What contains the water?
I suppose whatever like foundation, like any sort of sidewalk, a curb maybe. I mean,
Exactly. Whatever land is higher than the water, and it finds its level all the way around until it'll
at the lowest
fill up
point.
the area.
Yeah.
And then the land that's higher than it will contain the water. Large bodies of water, anything bigger than a bucket of water, needs a container. Okay? Like a drop of water, its surface tension can hold that together. But anything bigger than a cup of water, but I'll say 5 gallons, needs a container. Like if I dug out with a backhoe the side of a lake, what happens? Water goes away.
Flows away,
Until it ultimately seeks its ultimate base level. It relentlessly seeks the ultimate base level. So you're looking down upon a giant lake here. You have a bunch of islands, we can call them continents, and they're all surrounded by water. But all of that water is surrounded by higher land. Think about that. That makes sense. The water's contained by higher land. What is this crazy higher land? Well, they tell us Antarctica is the highest land on Earth. This continent at the bottom of a ball floating in impossible infinite space is the highest land on Earth, when in fact it is the highest land on Earth. It's the container of our water. So here's the question. What's out here? What's out here beyond the edge of our lake? Okay? If you're on a lake, you can't fall off the lake. You can sail around the lake, clockwise or counterclockwise, but you sail to the edge of the lake. You don't fall off. You hit the shoreline. What's out here? If this is the inner space, what is this called?
Outer space.
The outer space. Well, what if the world was set up like this? We live here in the inner space, and here's Antarctica, and out here in the outer space is extra land, extra territory, right? What if somebody lived on the extra territory and they came to visit us? What would you call them?
An alien.
An extraterrestrial.
Okay.
From where?
Outer space.
So let me get this right. You're saying the basis is Antarctica is essentially the rim of what you consider to be the globe.
Antarctica is the shoreline of our world.
It's the wall.
It could be. This could be it. So what's the wall? Did you say what's the wall?
Oh, it's like
the
a wall.
Is just, well, the Game of Thrones was just to program you into laughing at the idea of an ice wall. It's not the edge of the world where a little guy can pee off the end of it. It's the shoreline that we call that is the edge of our world. It's a shoreline called Antarctica, and most of it is a cliff. Okay, it's not a wall. It's a cliff. It's just the end. The sun, I'll show you in a bit, never gets close enough here to melt this. So this extended plain goes on, I don't know how far, because guess what? It's completely off limits to everybody since 1959. It's the only treaty that's held up the test of time, and nobody is allowed to explore the outer land, the outer space.
So when people go to Antarctica and are doing these expeditions, these are like on the inner space, is what you're saying, like on the inner edge? Because obviously people have been. And
nobody's exploring Antarctica. You can spend $20, $30, $50,000 to go on a trip, and they'll take you right here to this little peninsula, which is bigger than many countries, and they'll show you some ice. They'll show you some penguins. Maybe they'll take you a few miles out here and they'll show you a ceremonial South Pole, but you have no way of verifying where you are because guess what? Compasses don't work and GPS doesn't work out there.
This is true. There are not Verizon towers out in Antarctica. That is a fact.
Wait,
right?
Wait, a compass doesn't work out there?
Yeah, because here's how a compass works, right?
Is it magnets?
Get into no. So a compass, it points towards the magnetic North Pole. Well, the magnetic North Pole isn't a molten magnetic ball. They say it's a molten magnet in the center of our Earth. Well, you can't have a molten magnet. Heat up, and it's called the Curie point. You heat up any magnet before it melts. It hits the Curie point, which means it loses all its magnetism. So the whole idea of a molten metal core is absolutely absurd, and they do it to mock us. So here's a map of the Earth. I got my magnet in the center, and here is the compass, which is pointing north. You with me?
Yep.
So the compass is pointing north, and I'm trying to push this compass west, and I have to keep turning it to the dead reckon west. Think about that. If I think I'm going straight, but I keep micro adjusting. Now I'm heading east, right? And the east is right here on the magnet, on the compass. East is a circle. This does not prove that the Earth is a globe or not. Now watch. If I try to dead reckon west without turning to the north, as soon as I start moving, I'm heading south. South is every direction away from the center. All of these lines are south.
So any direction that's pointing towards the rim, essentially, or the container, as you would call it.
Any direction away from the center is south. Now, if I go, if you're at the North Pole, and that doesn't prove that the Earth is flat or a globe because it's the same. If you head away from the North Pole, you're heading south. But guess what? You're not going to pop up over here magically. Okay, that's fascinating. Now, if I'm heading north, as soon as I pass the North Pole, look what the compass did. It just did a 180. And now I'm still heading in a straight line. I'm heading south, right? Every straight line is south. No matter what direction you point, you're really pointing south. You guys wrap your mind around that?
So this is like how they say any direction, like we're relatively like just stuck in the middle of the universe. Any direction you point, there's no direction in space necessarily. So you're saying
we're not in space. We're not in space.
No, for sure.
We're on this pond.
No, I'm sort of just referencing that. So you're saying any given direction that we are traveling towards the edge, that's south. All those lines represent south. I I've used a compass before. This is kind of confusing to me because I guess like
So,
it's
get a compass, get a magnet, put it on a table so the magnet's within range of the compass, and try to push that compass east or west, and you'll see that east and west are circles, right? Billions of people have circumnavigated east and west. Just like I showed you, my compass went east or west all the way around the earth. Didn't go around a ball. 0 people have done it south. Nobody's gone south and popped up on the other side of the world.
Could this
No
not
one's
be
ever done it.
Could this not be due to the treacherous conditions of obviously the North Pole, South Pole? It's pretty tough to travel through
Likely
something like that.
Well, so this is what they want you to believe. They've brainwashed you with how freezing cold it is beyond there. There could be tropical lands beyond the shoreline of Antarctica, and nobody knows what's on the North Pole either because no one is allowed to go there. Let me show you some plane routes which might help you see this. So when you want to go from Buenos Aires to Perth, Australia, this is the route that they actually take. They stop in Frankfurt and Singapore, or they go this way. They stop either in Miami or Houston, and then again in Los Angeles, then in Sydney, and then Perth. Why don't they just cut across the bottom of the ball here? Bam. We're not allowed to go over Antarctica. It's too rough. It's too crazy there. Just go around. There's islands out here. Just go this way. It's a much shorter route, but this is the route that they go. Let me show you another one, okay? Hawaii to New York, they had to, there was an emergency landing, and they had to stop. They stopped in Seattle.
Seattle, okay.
Why did they stop in Seattle? Look at it on a flat Earth map. It's in a straight line. Let me show you a couple more. Okay. This one, that was very similar. Let's go to another one. This one is emergency landing in Calgary. Calgary's on the straight line, right? Makes perfect sense on a flat Earth. I'm going to show you something else in a second too. This one, Chicago to Dal, emergency landing in Moscow. It's like 1,000 miles out of the way. Why did they do that? It's a straight line on a flat Earth map, right?
Wow, this is wild.
Here's one of my favorites. Buenos Aires to what does that say?
Johannesburg.
It's blah.
South Africa.
It's Johannesburg. Yeah, South Africa. So it stops all the way up here in Amsterdam. That's crazy. So many southern flights. I'm going to show you. Let me show you in a second. Here's another one. This is also good. Auckland to Lima, Peru. Why do they go to Los Angeles? Right? The trip from Auckland to Los Angeles is about the same on a globe to Peru. So why did they go all the way up here and not when this plane was full of passengers that want to go to Peru?
So can you not fly direct from Auckland to Peru?
You can. But Auckland to Peru, I don't think there's any direct flight. You can go from Sydney to Sydney to Santiago, but there's only a couple planes that do it. They're often canceled. The flight times vary, like up to 5 hours sometimes, and there's only a special plane that can do the trip, and that plane has heat-resistant paint on it. 7 layers of heat-resistant paint. What does that tell you? It tells you that they're going faster than they're telling you. Same thing here, okay? Argentina to India, stopping in Amsterdam.
And are these just like one-off flights that have happened?
No, these
or
are
is this their typical
every flight all the time.
If they have an
All the
emergency
time,
stop
every
going
flight.
from this city to this city, this is where they typically will stop.
Well, so those are emergency stops, but the other ones, I'm just showing you. This is the route that they're taking.
Oh, okay. Like the connecting flight.
Why don't they go? There's plenty of airports in Africa. Why don't they go here? Why are they going all the way up there? Why don't they? There's airports all over the place. So you have to understand that airplane, not air globe, fly straight and level over the Earth plane. And if you look here, this is a map of Scandinavian Airlines. This is how they show you where their flight routes go. Now, that looks like a flat Earth map to me. Okay? This is no pilot ever brings a globe into the cockpit with them. They bring maps like this. But the pilots aren't even flying the plane. They're just, NASA tells them, turn this control to 905, hit the button, and the plane will go into that direction. They're not flying the plane. They're not looking to seeing where they're going. Some of them are. Many of them know. We've interviewed some, and they were fired immediately the next day. We talked to plenty of them off off the record, and like the Qantas pilots, which is based out of Australia. These guys know that the Earth is flat, but they can't talk about it because they don't want to lose their job. So this is the route, just to show you, from Santiago to Australia. Now, the equator is right about here, right? Going across here on this map. Why are they going into the northern hemisphere when they should just be cutting across the bottom of the ball, right? Right? They should just be cutting across the bottom of the ball. The answer is because it's a straight line this way, right?
I mean, I have had some wacky routings, I can't lie, in my flights where I'm like, why are we stopping up in China and then going down to Australia? It's I have had those thoughts before. I'm like, why is this route this route?
Here's something to consider. So these how far away are these? 5,000 miles, just over 5,000 miles. This should be a 5,000 mile trip. They go all the way up into the northern hemisphere. So how come a flight from like over here that wants to go over here 5,000 miles away doesn't go all the way down into the southern hemisphere and then turn around and come back? If the Earth is a ball, everything should be similar at equal northern and southern latitudes. No flight ever that goes from any northern location to another northern location crosses the equator. But many, many, many distant southern flights cross the equator into the north. And that's simply because to get from here to here, you have to go through the north. The north is inside this circle, the inner north versus the outer south. So if I want to go from here to here, I'm in the north. Anywhere inside the circle to any 2 points in the circle, just draw a straight line. That's how you go. But any 2 points outside the circle, you might have to cross this red line.
Interesting. Okay, I guess my next question is, so you're saying any like image we've seen from space where you can see the polar caps like pretty distinctly, are you saying these are fabricated? Are you saying these are propaganda by the government?
What images have you seen by from outer space showing you the polar caps? Here's a little secret for you. NASA admits they don't have any photographs of Earth. Okay? Now, you guys, you're a little young, but when the iPhone first came out, everybody had this image on it. It's called the blue marble, right?
Yeah.
Robert Simmons works for NASA. He's a visualist artist, and he did an interview where he said he created it in Photoshop by strips of data, numbers, and information, and he painted it in Photoshop. He hit Command Z a lot, right? He sucks at Photoshop. He's lazy because he used the same clouds again and again. Okay.
Wait, tell me this guy's name. I want to look him up after
Robert Simmons.
Robert Simmons. NASA.
Blue Marble interview. You can find it and you can listen to it.
What about like a live stream from the International Space Station that you can watch like 24 hours a day?
Yeah, there are none. There's a live stream. You can watch these channels. They're live streaming their video live, but it's not from the space station. It's the same 17 minutes of complete and total nonsense that they show you. Think about this. Space station, pretty cool, right? Pretty cool construction.
Yeah, Star Warsy.
Right? Yeah. So do you know that there's not a single photograph or video of it being built? This would be the most recorded, videoed construction project in all of history, but it just appeared. They're like, oh yeah, this is going up to that new space station. Oh, there's a space station. Now the Chinese all of a sudden have a space station. They forgot to video its construction also. And the weird thing is, different countries made different modules, and the connectors weren't right, so they had to build a third part to connect them. Okay? They had to make this other part to connect the different modules, right? Never once did they test it on Earth. Never once was it built on Earth to make sure it worked. They just put it up into space, forgot to video it, and all of a sudden we have a space station that's been up there for 20 years.
Wouldn't they not video it because of security reasons, so that because you wouldn't want your rival governments having all that information?
The schematics and the...
Cool story, bro.
Okay, so wait, so you're saying all of these astronauts have taken like a vow of silence, essentially? Is that what you're saying? Because
it's not a vow of silence. They've been silenced. There was a Polish astronaut recently that spoke out in an interview, said, "I could assure you, no one's been to space," and he's MIA. I'm not sure if he's just laying low or if he's dead. Buzz Aldrin. Buzz Aldrin was it Buzz? Was interviewing a little girl. Said, "Why haven't we been back to the moon? Why haven't we been back to the moon?" And he goes, "Well, because we never went. All of these guys were met before the Apollo missions. Movie directors and sci-fi writers. And
you're into this theory. I've seen this theory.
Well, it's not a theory. And, I used to believe, okay, Stanley Kubrick did it because we were hiding the technology. We don't want anyone to see the technology. You can also say that they couldn't show it live because if it happened, something went wrong. They didn't want us to see it,
So you think this was filmed on a set, like in Hollywood, essentially? Is
How about this? Nobody has ever been to space because space doesn't exist as you've been told.
Whoa.
Okay, I have a reference I want to bring up. Super into like adrenaline sports. This huge this big base jumper sponsored by Red Bull. His name was Felix Baumgartner. He took a hot air balloon, or like it was like a heat pressured like balloon thing up to space. Live video the whole time, and then it's him jumping from space. You can see Earth from his point of view, and then he jumps down into space.
It was actually two. They actually recorded two test jumps before they videoed it that had regular cameras, but for the third one,
he's got it up
they
already.
used
That's
fisheye
crazy.
lenses. So you know what a fisheye lens is? When you move it, anything above the center will curve downwards, and anything below the center will curve upwards. Now let's look at this. This is just before he jumped. He's at 127,000 feet.
He's ready. He was ready.
He was so ready for that.
He said he could see the curve of the Earth. Well, we zoomed in on this. Look at this river here and these features. This is all New Mexico. So we live on planet New Mexico if you believe this is a globe, right? Get a globe, follow this curve. This is like a third of the Earth is New Mexico. And here's the other thing, guys. Come back on the screen. The Earth is spinning to the east, right? It's spinning to the east, right? So that's why the sun looks like it comes up and goes down in the heliocentric model. It's spinning to the east at 1,000 miles an hour at the equator. So let's say it's 800 miles an hour land speed in Arizona where this took off. Oh, I think it was Arizona. Yeah. No, or Arizona or Nevada, whatever. He went up for 2.5 hours. The Earth is spinning at 1,000 miles an hour to the east. He should land west out in the ocean 1,000, 2,000 miles at least. But he landed east of where he took off. So the Earth is spinning to the east, and he outran the Earth and landed ahead of it.
Oh, wow.
Let that sink in. Use your brain. Here's the thing. In indoctrination camp, they never taught you to think. They taught you to memorize and regurgitate Rockefeller information because the elite don't want to educate you to the point where you could actually challenge their power, where you could finally realize that nobody has power over you. They want to indoctrinate you to being a good slave. They want to indoctrinate you into believing their nonsense.
Why would they want us to believe the Earth is flat?
Around, you mean?
Globe.
Or why would they want us to believe that it's a globe? Why would they not want us?
Why would they hide?
know it's flat?
Why would they suppress the truth from us?
Yeah,
if
why?
this is-
What does that do for them?
Like, what's their agenda? I suppose. What are they gaining from this?
So every culture, every religion, every culture before this believed the Earth was flat, except the religion of NASA, where they have a globe. All of our history, with the Greeks, you know about Aristophanes. You guys taught that in school? Or did they stop teaching that because people could see through it?
Aristotle, I know. I don't know Aristophanes.
Aristophanes, Carl Sagan talked about it with his sticks and shadows experiment, where one stick didn't have a shadow and his buddy 500 miles away had a shadow, and then he measured the shadows. You guys know that?
Yeah. I've heard about the experiment. We definitely learned about that in school. I don't know much about it, but.
Am I still going? I just knocked my cord out.
Yeah, you're good.
Yeah, you're good.
All right. So that is complete and total nonsense. And I'm going to get to your question, but I just want to answer this. Where is it? Sticks and shadows. So he's here and his buddy 500 miles away, and they say the sun rays are coming in parallel because everyone only sees parallel sun rays, which is nonsense because no one has ever seen parallel sun rays, but they're just assuming a distant sun with parallel sun rays. And he did some perfectly good math, said, okay, this angle, the shadow, and he calculated the size of the Earth, and they say they got it within 2%. Okay, fascinating, great story. Matt, we don't live on a math equation. On a flat Earth with a small local sun, here's Eratosthenes, here's his buddy, same angles, could do the same math and prove that this flat surface is a sphere. Again, the assumption, math is not reality. Okay, you can use math to measure reality, and you can use math to describe something that doesn't exist. You guys, your camera just went off. You guys there?
You got it. Yeah. So you're saying it's a system that's kind of been put in place that we follow.
Your camera is black, just so you know.
Yeah, I'm trying to see what the.
All right, no worries. So
there we go.
So it's put in place. So here's the thing. You guys are in your young 20s, so I don't know if you know this yet, and this is what they don't want you to know. They don't want you to know that, first, nobody has authority over you. You are a free being, and nobody is your master. The only control anyone up to the highest levels of govern control meant the mind. The only control that anyone has over you is in your imagination. That's step one. The other thing is, your imagination creates your reality. Everything you guys have in your life is because of the way that you think, right? And you'll see that as, you're going to remember these words. And as you are in tune and thinking proper things and coherent thoughts, those things are attracted into your life. This world is not what they tell us. Our thoughts create our reality. We may live in some sort of physical simulation where our thoughts create reality. And, when I first heard that years and years ago, I was like, oh, that's ridiculous. Well, that's what they want you to think, right? So what do you do to limit someone's thoughts? First, you keep them in fear. Turn on the news. The news will give you cancer. Okay, the news is just to keep you in fear, because when you're in fear, you lower your resonance, you lower your vibration, and you give away your power. The second thing is, and when you're in fear, you're like, oh, please, government, please, police, please, whatever, help me. And so you give away willingly your own power. The other thing is, if you live on a ball, you remember the Truman Show?
Yeah.
He
Great movie.
That's the limit of his world, okay? But his imagination started going beyond there. Well, on a globe, everything's finite. There's nothing more. What if there's more land out there? What if there's more resources? I believe that this world is filled with unlimited resources. Here's a map, Japanese map, 10 centuries old. These are other continents. We live here in this jail. They tell us it's a ball. And what if these are other paradises?
Well,
Okay.
My question, why would we forego all of these potentially unlimited natural resources, especially when the government, obviously, they want the best oil prices, they want the best, coal prices. Why would we forego traveling to these places and helping out the economy for the sake of keeping this secret?
Because you guys believe in the economy and you believe in oil and all of that stuff. There's free energy everywhere.
I'm talking
There's
about,
free
okay,
energy.
but like these big businessmen, they obviously, they would go through to any extreme in order to, make their best profit
So
share.
wait,
So these
so
I
answer
guess
this,
these
and-
individual corporations, why would they sacrifice that? If they know there's a way to get more at a cheaper rate, like why would they not make the journey or try to do like a privatized journey or something along those lines?
Yeah, no, I got you. So if you know anything about treaties all through history, none of them ever last. The longest lasting treaty is the Antarctic Treaty. So in 1959, just before that, Admiral Byrd flew out over Antarctica, right? The bottom of this little ball, right? The little continent. And he said, he went thousands of miles beyond the South Pole. And he said, there's land bigger than the United States, filled with resources that no human has ever stepped foot upon. So back then, we're in wars all around, fighting for resources, fighting for oil, fighting for everything. He says there's land filled with all sorts of natural resources that nobody lives on. Right? So there's no reason that they, why wouldn't you go there? And they said, oh, Antarctic Treaty, no one's allowed to go there. We have to protect the penguins and the ice, because the penguins, we could disturb their migratory path, then they'd be extinct. And we don't want to, it's the only unpolluted area of the world. And they signed this treaty, a dozen countries signed on. Now every country in the world is signed on. And you can't even question this treaty until the year 2041, right? You can't even question it. ExxonMobil, nobody can even petition to go down there. There's nothing you can do, and nobody questions it. Nobody questions it. We can deforest the Amazon, no problem, take away the lungs of our world, but we can't go on this supposed frozen barren land and get resources. That is ridiculous.
Do you think
This
there's
is
humans?
ridiculous.
Do you think there's humans that are living on this? Once we go past the edge, this outer realm. Like, are you saying there's people just like us living on this land, or is that completely uninhabited?
So again, I believe, again, anything beyond the shoreline of Antarctica or above the height that we can reach. And then we got to go back to NASA because I got to take apart the space station for you guys. Anything beyond those is speculation. But there's stories about, one of them is called the Iron Republic. And it's a story about a senator retired and got a ship and went down to Antarctica, found an opening, and was just going through this opening and then came back out into the ocean. They were lost at sea for about a month. And then they saw land, and all of a sudden a boat came out. So they kind of went through an opening here. They're lost at sea. And then a boat came out, and they spoke English. And they're like, where are we? Like, you're at the Iron Republic. And it's like, well, we're from America. Where's that? And it's like, America, the people in the Iron Republic, they go, well, the Iron Republic is on the other side of Antarctica, about the same distance that America is. And they were confused by that. Then they went in, and this is in 1901, I think. And they talking about flat screens, floating cars, electric, everything, just like an advanced society. The guy wrote all of this stuff down.
What's this called? What's this guy's name again?
It's called the Iron Republic. I'll show you guys where to get it in a second. And you can find it on YouTube. Just search the Iron Republic. There's a channel called The Morgile that read the whole book if you want to listen to it. And they said that in the 1600s there was tyranny going on in here. Imagine that, tyranny. And they said they didn't want it, and so they left. So now they've put a fence around us. They're like, oh, there's nothing else out there. So now, with what's going on in the world right now, what if you knew that there was other continents that were free with fertile land and amazing people? Well, everybody would leave. Everyone would leave what's going on right now. So they don't want you to know that. They need us as their slaves in here, and we are in a slave system. So why the lie? One, if you understand what this world is and the power that you have and the power of your mind, you're no longer a slave to them. Okay? If everyone listened to your podcast tonight in the world and they go, that guy made a lot of sense, the governments are done. They're finished. They're done instantly. Every university shuts down. Every government shuts down. I mean, the entire world changes. Government is mind control. Controlling the mind. Govern the mind.
So you're saying he went through this inner rim I see a couple passageways, it looks like, in your graph.
Yeah. Right.
My question is, if nobody's been to space, we don't have any satellite images, where are these shapes of these outer rim continents, the Iron Islands or whatever you call them? What's it called? The Iron
Republic.
Iron Republic. Where do you get these shapes on the map? Yeah, how do you get these shapes?
So again, that's a great question, and this is, you guys you just dove in the rabbit hole, and it goes so deep, your mind is going to be blown. But this is the one that's going to blow you away. This is not for day one of Flat Earth, but I'm going to show it to you anyway. Okay. This green land is our known world. The North Pole is right here. Our magnetic north is here. Our sun goes around the North Pole, and I'm going to show you how it migrates in between these tropics. This white line is the shoreline of Antarctica. Okay? So here's the question. What's all of this land? Okay? This is the unknown world. Okay? This is it's a very, very good map of the Earth, and there's a video that I'll show you that shows you what's going on here and what's happening here. What is this? What does it look like to you guys?
Yin and yang almost.
It's an inverse image of the moon.
Oh, wow.
Okay? This is good. So here's the thing.
Yeah, what does that mean?
Here's the thing. I'm not come back on the screen. I'm going to share my screen real quick, and I'm going to show you. So here's the thing. If you guys want to research Flat Earth, you can't do it online anymore that easily because it's all shadow banned. It's all hidden. When I started researching Flat Earth, I'd watch a Flat Earth video, and YouTube would line them up for me. 10 other new Flat Earth videos came up. All sorts of stuff. So easy. Now you can search for the #1 video. One of the top videos is A Stranger's Guide to Flat Earth, 21 Questions by ODD TV. Well, you can search it by name and channel, and it won't show up in that list until like 10 pages later, right? They're just sent there. If you Google Flat Earth, you're going to get Flat Earth Society stuff, right? We're not the Flat Earth Society. That's a government-controlled disinformation site. You're going to get Simon Dan, okay, who is a government shill that just talks snarky stuff. It's all straw man arguments, all nonsense. And that's what they're going to feed you, and your brain is going to get tired. You're going to go, oh, I give up.
So you're saying the government has some of these more airhead, supposedly flat earthers, like put in place to throw off the illusion and make the whole movement seem just stupid. And
well, besides the airheads, they have these science guys. Like the number one hit will be Professor Dave, another snarky guy that will not talk to us live. He, Neil deGrasse Tyson, all of these guys will not debate us live. They will not come on and have a discussion like you guys are having. They will not do it because we will destroy them.
I think I saw Professor Dave. I was looking up I looked up Flat Earth Dave on YouTube.
Of course you did.
To try and find some videos of you, and it was all this Professor Dave guy like denouncing Flat Earth and whatnot.
If you want to find me, you could just search Flat Earth Dave and then sort your search by upload date, and then that'll bypass their algorithm.
Yeah, because they're trying to ban you too. It looks like on YouTube. I literally couldn't and I know you've done a million fucking interviews, and I couldn't find anything. So I'm like, shit.
So here's how you find it. Yeah. So this is called the Flat Earth Sun, Moon, and Zodiac Clock app, and this is how you find it. Every day there's a new featured video down here on the bottom left, and you click that, and up comes the video. And all I tell people is just watch the featured video each day. Right? Short ones during the week, longer ones on the weekend mostly. And after 2 weeks, you too will lose the respect of your family and friends because you'll be a flat earther. But besides that, it'll change your life. I'm offering 3 Bitcoins for 1 proof of the globe. 3 Bitcoins for 1 proof of the globe, and no one has been able to claim it yet.
Hey, listen, you guys are hearing this, all right? The public.
Yeah.
If you can prove to Dave that the globe is real, you get 3
1
Bitcoins.
Proof of the globe. But you have to watch the video every day for 2 weeks. And then see that question mark on those buttons on the right?
Yeah.
Hit the question mark, and up come your questions. Hey, what about eclipses? Why the lie? What about seasons? What about ships over the horizon? If I hit ships over the horizon, up comes a playlist of videos that YouTube doesn't want you to see, right? You won't be able to find these videos. Watch these videos. Don't believe them. Go out and get your own camera and tripod and do it yourself, and then you too will know rather than believe that the Earth is not what they tell us is. I'll get into it in a second, but in the app, it does a ton of things. Brings up all sorts of images that you can use when just to teach yourself and to help teach others. It does everything, but one of the things is people like, Brian Cox, who I call Lying Box, who's one of the spokesmen for the heliocentrism nonsense. He says nobody believes the Earth is flat. It's just an internet phenomenon. Nobody actually believes the Earth is flat. Hit that handshake button, and up comes flat earthers all around the world. Okay, this is just my area here, and if you look, there's 24,000 dots across the world. If I go to, let's say, the United Kingdom, these are the people in the United Kingdom. I could zoom in, and I can confirm that these are real people because I can tap on a dot, and I can send them a text message and communicate with them. Here's the thing. This is my app. There's the app is showing that there's 24,000 people that have just logged in to this new feature. The app has over 100,000 users, and the app is less than, I would say, 0.5% of the flat earthers in the world. Okay, do the math. That's massive. That's like 20 million flat earthers. Could be more. So what's going on? Why do people believe that the Earth is flat? Right? So if you hit the books button, there's all sorts of books. The book I was telling you about, Iron Republic, it's fantastic. Or you can just find it online. It's also listed under, if you hit the question mark and you go to what about Antarctica? I believe it's one of the audio books is here, And this is all about Antarctica. All the stuff I was telling you, the people that claim to have crossed it, and we exposed how they didn't. All sorts of really cool stuff. And that's how you learn about Flat Earth. The app is $3, okay? And you don't need to subscribe, but there is a 99-cent subscription if you want to send messages or get the detailed weather app which comes with it. Come back on screen. And so again, it's $3. You don't have to pay anymore. Don't and that's it.
It's all the information you need right there in that app.
But here's what I tell people. Don't buy the app. Just go to the Google Play Store or the App Store and read the reviews, okay? Except for the couple people that are having technical problem with their phone and left, you're an idiot, that doesn't work. Look at all of the reviews. It's the highest rated app in both the App Store and the Google Play Store.
Wow, that's
Wait,
interesting.
So why do they want us to believe it's a globe though? Like, why do they not want us to believe
it limits your world. If you believe you live on a globe, how about this? So let's say there's a giant apartment building, a giant building that is 20 miles wide by 20 miles wide by 300 stories high, okay? And you live all within that building. But there's no windows or doors on the outside of that building. You're in there. Your job is on the 97th floor. You met your girlfriend over at the nightclub, whatever. It's a massive thing, but no one's allowed to go within a half a mile of the edge of the building. It's just like, oh, no one can go beyond here, and there's military blocking you, right? No one's allowed to go there. And I go to you guys, hey guys, there's more outside of this building. And you're like, oh, why would they lie? Why would they lie? Why would they lie?
Have you seen the movie The Giver, Dave? Or read the book?
Absolutely. That's a flat Earth. It's a flat Earth movie. It's all about the flat Earth.
So essentially, I mean, like, that's like, they're even deeper in terms of like, slaves of society where they're assigned their roles in the community. And eventually the protagonist gets past the edge. He starts seeing color. He gets it from the giver.
They got to prick their,
it's a one-of-one position.
Thumb every day. Or
yeah, exactly. And it's total mind control.
Is that every day where they have to go get their injection?
Their thumb pricked and like take a pill.
Don't say the word. Don't say the B word on YouTube. I know you guys are aware of the censorship. If you even question that this thing is safe and effective, other than safe and effective, you lose your channel. So don't mention it.
I have a question about. So do you believe just Earth is flat, or do you believe the other planets in our solar system are flat? Like when we have to go. Yeah, we have to go back into space. So what have you ever seen? So the only images you've seen. When I see a planet from here, I'm curious though. It's always a circle. So like, why is it never like an offset circle if those planets would also be? Because I'm assuming it's not just Earth that would be this shape, right? Every planet in our system.
Is this a circle? This is Mars.
Okay? Yeah, I would call that a circle.
A lot of things are circles. The lights in your ceiling are circles. Is your floor a circle too?
My question though is why would we never see it at like a angle where you can only see like a sliver of it because it's on its right. We're seeing the edge of it as opposed like from the front view.
Why are there no phases of Mars? Why do we always see a full Mars? Okay.
You got the Mars graph already. Jesus. You
so here's the thing. Mars, they tell us, is this dusty, dirty ball, right? This is supposedly Mars, right? But this is Devon Island, right? You guys have seen this. This is from NASA's website. It was taken by the rover because he always gets a little selfie of himself. But this is from Devon Island in Greenland, okay? It's the same friggin' hill, right? A NASA apologist will go, oh, no. Somebody just took this, colorized it, and added clouds when the opposite is true. NASA took this picture, sepia toned it, took out the clouds, stuck in this little graphic, and told you it was from Mars, right? We even found them with their testing the rover on Devon Island with cameras, trucks, and everything. We have the images of them doing this, and nobody cares. Nobody seems to notice. Nobody seems to care, as George Carlin would say. So they, if you look up at the light, so you have to believe. So if you're on Mars, the sun is smaller than our sun because it's farther away, right? The sun, NASA shows you the sun, from Mars, it's really small. It's bigger than a star, but it's really small. And Jupiter, the same. If you're on Jupiter, the sun is tiny.
Even smaller.
Now, Jupiter is a gaseous planet, right? Jupiter is a gaseous planet. This is from NASA. They tell us this is Jupiter. So you have to believe that light is bouncing off of there, traveling all the way back to Earth, and it's brighter than any star. That makes no sense. That breaks every law of light and distance and brightness. None of it makes any sense.
So what are we
whatsoever.
seeing? What are we seeing is my question then.
So, yeah, great question. Anything we see in the sky other than known aircraft are lights. That's all we know. They're lights. But if you look at stars through today's consumer optics, our optics have outgrown their lives. Here is the star Arcturus, right? Does that look like a burning ball trillions of miles away? This is the star Arcturus. You can almost see this with your naked eye. You just get out a zoom lens and you can see it. Here's the star Capella. Does that look like a burning ball like they tell us? This is something you guys have never seen, right? Here's the star Sirius. Something to look up is Star in a Jar, where the scientists took sound waves and beamed them into a jar of water, and these little stars that look just like this appear.
So you're saying these are images that we're seeing. Is the government behind stars?
No, this is video. You can see this. This is God's creation, right? This is different stars in the sky. They're pulsing orbs of energy, okay? They're here within the Earth system. So do you know what the angular resolution limit of your eye is? Have you ever heard that term?
No.
Never.
So the angular resolution limit is how far away would I have to bring that beer can for you not to be able to see it? Because its size, my hand is pretty big here. It's getting smaller and smaller and smaller.
Yeah.
There will be a point where the angular size of my hand is too small to see. So the angular size of a penny, no human eye can see it past, I think it's 200 yards or whatever it is, quarter mile, less than that, more than that, doesn't matter. You can't see it because its angular size is too small, and the cones and rods, the sensors in your eyes, cannot resolve it. So its angular size is too small to resolve. You understand that? Mm-hmm. So the penny is still there, but you can't see it because its angular size is too small. So now let's relate that to our sun and our sun in the sky. So they tell us that the sun is a giant, this giant ball in the sky, like where those yoga balls. That's the sun, and the Earth is a BB next to that sun, or a small marble. You with me?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Yeah, those reference photos. Yeah, of course.
Right. Yeah. So here's the Earth and here's the sun. Mm-hmm. And so if I move the sun just a mile over your head, and you looked up, what would you see? You'd see the entire sky would be the sun. Agreed?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So then we move the sun, here's the sun, and we move it away 93 million miles, and it gets small due to
angular, the term that
perspective. Perspective, and its angular size gets smaller. It's okay. It's all right. Don't worry. So its angular size gets smaller. So we went from filling the entire sky, we move it 93 million miles away, and it's the size of a coin held at arm's length. Agreed? Mm-hmm. Follow me. You guys, you have to work your brain because it's never worked before. You just memorize stuff. So now, if I doubled the distance to the sun, how much smaller would it get? Remember, it went from the entire sky, horizon to the size of a coin. If I doubled the distance, how much smaller would it get?
Not much smaller, just because it's d-exponential, right? I mean, it's like...
Is it d-exponential?
You're saying it would get...
You wouldn't be able to see
it would get smaller. But here's the thing. Scientifically, if you do the math, if you made it 3 times as far, its angular size would be too small. Okay? But let's be safe. Let's make it 24 times farther. Okay? 24 times farther, just so you know, is 3 light hours, I believe. Okay? The distance, the sun, the distance, the time the light supposedly takes from the sun to Earth is 8 minutes. 24 times 8 would be 2 light hours. Sorry. 2 light hours. Is that right? 3 light hours. Whatever. It doesn't even matter because the differences are so screwed up. At 3 light hours, we are far, far beyond the angular size of the sun being able to be seen. That's something you can scientifically prove, right? You can do the math. You can do an experiment. You can make a scale model, a small model. And then you're like, okay, you can't see the sun at that distance. They tell us Polaris is 48 times bigger than our sun. Okay. So we move the sun 3 light hours away. times 48 times, that's 6 light days. So if Polaris was 6 light days away, scientifically we can prove that it's too small to see. And if you followed me, you'll be like, yeah, that makes perfect sense. And you think about it, you do the math. At 6 light days away, you could not see Polaris. They tell us Polaris is 433 light years away. Okay? 433 light years away. This is absolutely insanity. Here's the thing. I'm going to melt your brain a little farther. This is important. Okay? How far, do you know what the closest star is other than our sun, which they tell us is a star?
No.
Okay, the closest star is Alpha Centauri. It's 25 trillion miles away. 25 trillion miles away. Now, you guys being young kids, you've heard billion, trillion, the debt's trillions of dollars. Do you know how long 1 trillion seconds is?
1 trillion seconds. I mean, I'm sure I could calculate it with my calculator.
Sure,
you could with a calculator.
It sounds like if you just want to tell us.
A lot of years.
Yeah, of course. The answer is it's 31,000 years.
Okay.
1 trillion seconds. So now you have an idea of how big a trillion is. The closest star is 25 trillion miles away. If you were traveling a mile a second and you went for 31,000 years, you would only be 1/25th of your way to the closest star.
Okay.
This is ridiculous.
A question about that, though, is we're not actually seeing the star. I mean, they say stars have been burning for...
light. You're going to say we're seeing the light that's been traveling from the star.
Yeah, so what?
Again, that's a cool story. It doesn't work that way because think about this. Get a flashlight, hold it an inch from the wall. Hold it an inch from the wall, and you see the light on the wall and its brightness. Move it away, and that light gets dimmer and dimmer and dimmer because light spreads out. So it's spreading out, getting dimmer and dimmer and dimmer. It doesn't intensify and follow a little light thing. It gets dimmer and dimmer. And it's called the inverse square law of light. Oh, here he goes with the math again. It's very easy. Every time you double the distance to a light, it's 1/4 of the brightness. Okay? So
do these rules apply in the vacuum of space, though? I'm like,
absolutely. They 100% apply to the vacuum of space. But let's do, let me show you an example. So if you guys been out in the middle of nowhere when there's a full moon, you can read by it. You can drive your car with the lights off. The moon is casting shadows on the ground because it's so bright.
Mm-hmm.
So you have to believe that this dusty, dirty ball looks as a light. It's as bright as the moon, right? This is them during the daytime on the moon.
That is kind of weird.
You have to believe. I can't lie. Yeah, why isn't it? I want the moon to be glowing when you're standing.
Right.
That is kind of
so.
That is crazy.
So the inverse square law of light. So check this out. If let's just say when I look at the full moon, it's 1 lumen. Okay, 1 lumen. Lumen's a measurement of light, and I'm rounding down. I think it's like 10 lumens. I don't know what it is. Maybe it's whatever. If it was 1 lumen and we went halfway to the moon, it should be 4 lumens. And then if we cut that distance in half, it should be 16 lumens and then 64 lumens. Each time you cut that in half. By the time you get to 100 miles from the moon, where they supposedly took a picture of the moon, look just like this, it should be brighter. It should be tens of millions of lumens. But when we look at the sun from Earth, it's not tens of millions of lumens. It's less. It would be brighter than that. It would melt everything. You wouldn't even be able to look at the moon. None of their stuff works out when you actually think about it. When you actually think about it, none of it works out. Space station. These guys in the space station are faking being in space. Let me just show you a couple examples. Like these guys at the end of a conference, all of a sudden their green screen glitched out and everything that was floating glitched out, but everything that wasn't floating stayed perfectly fine.
One of my buddies just showed me this clip. Who's pretty heavy on the flat Earth. Yeah, Zion. He's pretty heavy on the flat Earth wave too. Yeah.
So these guys were doing their thing. They're flipping their microphone and flipping their hat around. And in the background, this guy goes floating by. And I zoomed in on him.
Can't you see a string or something?
See his harness.
Yeah.
You can see what's that?
There's like a string or a harness. Yeah.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Right. And the Globers will say, oh, that's for safety. But here's something that happened. These guys are looking at screens beyond the camera. And this guy is flipping his hat around, right? It's a virtual reality. It's called augmented reality. And he's flipping his hat around. And this guy was supposed to grab it, but he screwed up. Watch. And so I'm going to zoom out and it's going to show you in a second. He goes to he's supposed to pass it to him, but he moves his hand. He thinks he's passing him the hat. He takes it and he puts it away. And he oops. And then you watch, and this is just repeating. This guy freaks out. The NASA pulls this video down, excuse me, right away. And well, we had already downloaded it, so damage is done.
So I'm curious. Wait, what's going on here? What's the? So he thought
he's
that
putting
he was
the hat
passing
away.
the hat.
They're playing. It's called
the
called
hat's not really
augmented
there.
reality. Like this lemon, they got a lemon.
Oh, so in his mind he okay, I got you. I'm
he
following.
thought
handing
but he
him the
missed
hat.
it, and then the computer
And he still
didn't
did.
move
He
it.
still did the motion and shit.
And-
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, so they're floating this lemon around, but look, it's not a real lemon. It goes right through his hand. Watch again, right through his hand. This is called augmented reality.
I don't like that.
Right.
AR.
I
baby.
do not like that.
They're up to
So
something. I don't like that.
if you catch NASA lying once, that's all you need. But we catch them many times. Watch this guy's head. It's transparent. They're fading him in, right? He's not on the space station. This is all augmented reality. These guys are hanging from wires. Why do they have utility belts in space? Right?
Yeah, that would be Batman.
What's under? Is he wearing a diaper or a harness? One or the other.
Yeah,
okay?
it looks just like
harness,
we
yeah.
did with our harness practice for that shit. It looks exactly like your crotch looks when you're wearing a harness, like underneath clothing. Yeah, to a T.
Yeah, 100%. And these guys, watch this. He drops the ball filled with helium, but some of the helium came out, and this guy tries to get it, and he can't.
Damn, they all just look
And
nervous
watch this
in
girl.
general, you know.
She's like, no, wait, don't go, wait, right? And we catch this stuff all the time. They rarely do live stuff now. Check this one out.
Is it Team
These guys
Fuck
are in
NASA
different
boys?
rooms.
Yeah, fuck
These guys are in different rooms, and this guy's holding a microphone, and he misplaces where Chris Hadfield is, the astrolier, and he sticks that microphone right into his neck. Look, it's in his neck.
What?
Wow.
See it?
Sketch.
This is a lot of
Yeah.
effort to hide the truth. You
Yeah,
know?
jeez.
Dude, this is all. The only reason for NASA is to make you think you live on a ball, when the truth is, you don't. We're at the center of creation.
So we should all be saying "fuck NASA." Is what
So you're
is it,
saying I
like,
should get a boat and go through this crevice and find new land?
Let's go to the Iron fucking.
You're not
Iron
allowed
Republic.
to. You will be stopped. You will be stopped if you try to go to Antarctica.
I
There's
dare
islands
you.
all
who
around
would stop
the world.
us? I'm curious. Do
So-
they have like
so-
guards at the edge of the wall and shit, or not the wall?
Yeah, the north.
So
The cusp?
that's a typical comment. So let me show you in the app.
took the
If I
black.
click the image wheel, and I scroll down just a little bit.
Is Jon Snow waiting for us?
Yeah, these NASA videos
on.
I've seen before too, and that's like the biggest thing that really,
Tweaks you out,
Yeah,
yeah.
I'm like, all right, well, they can't even make a proper video.
Great Britain is
Yeah,
just in
so-
charge.
So you guys, can you see my screen?
Yep.
Can you see what I'm showing?
Yeah.
They colonize the world.
So there's islands at all of these places, and these are the islands that they all have military bases on them. I don't know if you guys remember the Falkland Islands War. I'm like, why are we having a war in the Falkland Islands? And that's because these are islands that they have military on, run by the crown, and anyone that gets within any beyond 60 degrees south is immediately met. There was one explorer guy got permission from his country, went there. He was stopped by military. They was threatened to be sunk, turned around, sent home, and when he got home, he was put in jail. Okay, they are serious. No independent travel around Antarctica.
The Brits,
Here,
the
watch-
Brits. So the Brits are the gatekeepers, huh? Like it seems like they were the ones.
Well, so we're all in it together. Now watch. This is a real ball filled with helium. This is not real. Watch. It just beamed in. Did you
Oh
watch
my
it?
God, Star Trek.
Let me show you again. Watch.
It
So
is-
this is a real ball filled with helium, and this is, and they even made a beaming noise, like they're rubbing it in our faces. She's talking to kids, and this is called Paxies, like the space, thing.
Aw.
And this is called augmented reality. This is what she sees. Okay, she's manipulating objects in real time, and they're literally just wrapping, graphics around it.
Okay, wait. Why is there why are there layers? So if the Earth is flat, why is it like all temperate and green and lush, and then it's like frozen, and then it gets all like
Lush
normal
again?
again? Yeah.
Great question.
you.
Great question. Okay.
Yeah, I've been wondering that this whole time.
So here we go. Follow this.
Okay.
So in the app, the sun is the hour hand, okay? So I'm going to speed it up. And the sun goes around once every 24 hours. Wherever the sun is, it's noon. And as you can see, the sun is gaining distance on the moon. So the sun keeps track of the hours and the days. The moon, its position and phases, keep track of the weeks and the months. And then if I slow it down and I show you the stars, because I would put them on, they'd be going too fast. The stars are also circling over the Earth in their fixed positions, which is crazy in this heliocentric spiraling, nonsensical solar system. They repeat every year. They're going slightly faster than the sun. Right now, we're in this constellation. Next month, this constellation will catch up and the sun will be here for about a month. And then next month, it'll be here in Capricorn. And then next year, same day, same time, we'll be in the exact same position we are now. The stars are in space. So how does this relate to the heating of the Earth? Okay, so let me show you. So there's 3 circles on here. The outer yellow one is the Tropic of Capricorn. The inner yellow one is the Tropic of Cancer. And the red one, you guys want to take a guess?
Sagittarius. I don't know. Shit. I'm just guessing.
It's the equator.
Oh, okay, bet.
Yeah, no problem.
I was gonna say Libra.
Listen, I didn't know any of this. I never understood why do they only talk about the Tropic of Cancer and the Tropic of Capricorn, and why I just never understood any of it. And when the sun is in Cancer, I'm like, how is the sun in the Tropic of Cancer? I never understood that the stars are spinning around above us in a flat sky. Okay, so the sun migrates in between these 2 tropics. When it's out in December, it's over the Tropic of Capricorn, and Australia is having their summer because the sun is close to them. It's high in the sky. Mm-hmm. Right? Imagine this. Imagine 2 of us were sitting outside. Where are you guys located again?
Los Angeles.
All right, so in Connecticut, everything freezes here in the winter. So we're out in the winter. It's frozen. We're on a frozen field, and 2 of us are sitting out there 20 feet apart, okay? And somebody comes over with a heat lamp, a big heat lamp, and holds it 10 feet above my head, right? I could feel that heat coming down on me. I look up. That light is high in the sky. And that's my summer sun. The other person's 20 feet away. That sun, that heat lamp is lower in the sky. It's farther away. And I can barely feel the heat. That's my winter sun. So right now, look at the map. The sun is directly over Australia. Well, we're having our winter in the inner north. It's having its winter.
Yeah.
Because the sun is far away. It's out south. It's lower in the sky. We have shorter days. 6 months later, oops. Hit the wrong button. 6 months later, 6 in June. Well, I went a little far, but in June and July, the sun is in the inner north. Okay, sorry about that. The sun is in the inner north, and we're having our summer in Miami and in Southern California and Mexico. It's hot. The sun is high in the sky because it's close. Australia is having its winter. Santiago is having its winter. That's how seasons work. Did you know that in the nonsensical bullshit model that during our, come back on screen, during our inner north summer,
sorry, I got it.
During our summer, the sun is farther away than it is during our winter? Okay? That makes absolutely no sense. Let me just show you one other thing, how they always rub it in our face. In the North Pole is called the Arctic.
Yes.
The South Pole is called
I don't know his question.
It's all right. Listen, the South Pole,
Antarctic.
the Antarctic. Very good. So anybody inside of the Tropic of Cancer, this is the yellow line here, anybody inside, what is the sun doing? Is it arcing around them?
Seems so.
Okay. And what if I was out here? Is the sun arcing around me? If I'm out here, it's not arcing around me. It's antarcing. It's coming in and then going back out. It's antarcing. Antarctic.
It's anti-arcing.
To G's question, though, he just asked, I think you were talking about outside of the
both
the ice cap we're in. Like, why is there the climate?
Wait, why is there what?
Like, you
Like,
know,
The Iron Republic, like, how does that get
Those
its
places.
seasons?
yeah, how did
How
those?
is it- why isn't it frozen
Great
out
question. Great question. And the answer is the sun. It's a great question. The sun is it's in an apparent position. The sun that we see isn't the actual real sun. It is a projection into our world. So we all, like, if you go to Time and Date or whatever, and you say, hey, you know, or Stellarium, say, where is the sun? The first question they ask you is, where are you? Because they can't tell you where the sun is unless they know where you are, right? So the sun is a projection. I could show you a video on.
What do you mean, like projection? Like someone's just literally using a projector and.
Yeah.
Well, so
this one's hard for me to wrap my brain around right now.
Yeah. So this is, and again, as I said, anything above us, it's, you know, it's hard to prove it. But this is a reflection. The source of the sun is beyond the firmament, beyond the dome, right? So what do I mean by that? How does that work? And let me show you if I could find a quick little video here. This this it? How about this one? So each person has their own personal atmospheric dome. It's that how they see the sun. So here's the source of the sun, but this little intersection here is the sun that we see. So it's nighttime over here. It's the afternoon over here. If this is the West Coast and this is the East Coast, right? So wherever this is noon here, now it's noon here, now it's noon here. You know, it's 2 o'clock in the afternoon here. It's noon here. It's morning. It's afternoon here. It's before noon here. And this is how we see the sun. Interesting, right?
Okay.
So I have.
So where's
here's
it,
a little.
Where's the sun coming
ahead.
from, though? In terms of, like, you're saying it's a projection of the sun. Is there a main sun? Is there an actual sun, and this is a projection of it, or are you saying the sun is a completely fabricated thing?
The sun is the source of all life on Earth. Okay, the sun is the source of all life on Earth. What is the sun? That's a great question. You know, you might have to try to figure that one out. But here's a little glass dome I put down. This is a blanket. We'll call it, this is Antarctica, we'll say. Or this is just our personal dome of vision. And I'm bringing a light just across at the same level. And you'll see the light comes up. And if you're looking at this in person, the light is actually inside the dome. It looks like a little sun. And it goes down here, and it never goes below. It just stops, and then it fades away, right? So watch, it'll come back again. It'll appear here on the horizon. Oh, here it goes, over here. It's going to appear on the horizon. It rises, and then it sets, and it fades away. Now I'm going to show you this in real life, an observation that I made. So this is, I filmed this looking west from the East Coast here, below freezing day, no humidity, super clear. And the sun went down, 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 down. Now, if the Earth was spinning, it would just keep on going, but it didn't. It went down, 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 and it stopped. And it sat here. It went down in like 5 minutes. It sat here for 10 minutes. And instead of going down, this is sped up like 2,500%, it just faded out. It never went below this apparent horizon.
Well,
there is no real horizon.
I've seen it go below the horizon many a time.
So hang on. My friends down at the beach, they saw it set from the bottom up 10 minutes earlier. So how does that happen? Let me show you.
I've never seen it fade like that.
Me neither.
I know you have.
I don't know how you got that on camera. That's crazy.
Because you have to be up, super clear, super cold, no humidity. And I'm going to show you how this happens. So this line is level. We're looking at it from a elevated celestial point of view. This could be a cloud deck, could be trees, could be a city line, could be mountains, whatever. It's opaque and the sun never goes beyond it. This is a level line. You can clearly see it's level. Now I have a camera on the counter from the other end watching. And now if I showed you this first, I'd say, is this line level? You'd go, no. And I'm like, is this sun going below this, whatever this is, which looks like it's at eye level? Okay? And you would say, yes, it's going below it. And if I zoom in even farther, this line looks like it's almost going straight down. This is the level line. This looks like it's at eye height, but the sun is going down below it. This is how you see the sunset. Now let's compare it to a real sunset. here's the sunset. You think this is the horizon, but I'm zoomed in and I'm showing you this is the atmospheric deck of opacity, or there could be a mountain range in the distance that you just can't see. The sun is going below it, beyond it. It's not going below
Not
it.
below it. It's going
It's
straight
not going below
past
it. It's just going beyond it. And due to perspective, you can't see it. And then if I zoomed out on that, apparent horizon and the horizon below it, that just crunches into nothing, and you can't see that. It just looks like one horizon. Everything crunches together. The sun goes away, and it sets behind it. That's how it works.
Okay, I suppose in theory that does make sense. But okay,
That's not a theory. See, that's not a theory. This is perspective. These clouds are at the same level, but 20, 30 miles away, they look like they're touching the horizon, and the sun just goes beyond it.
So
And
you
it
have
looks
no
like
idea what the
it's
sun
setting
is. You
below it.
haven't like you in your head you don't it's up in the air. You don't.
I think the sun is. No, I don't know what it is. Don't ask me what it is. I don't know. No, and the moon, nobody knows what the moon is.
See, I don't know. These claims are. If
Yeah,
you don't
because
even know
the
what
sun,
it is,
I mean, you feel the sun's warmth, you know.
it's
and-
got to be something burning if it's actually
you
providing
have
you warmth.
No, it's got to be something burning. The sun is electric, my friend. The sun, guys, come back on screen. The sun is electric in nature. All right. So here's a real observation, by the way. It looks like it's setting, but when I zoom in, watch what happens. I zoom in, I can show you that it's not setting. It's just going away. It's still up in the sky, but your eye can't see the distance in between here. And it goes away. This becomes opaque right here, and the sun just goes beyond it, like I showed you.
So you think this is
So-
like electricity powered?
So the sun is the source. So the whole world is a giant free energy system where the sun and the moon are the anode and the cathode of the energy system. The salt water carries the current. The land is the salt bridge of the battery, and it's this free energy system. Tesla showed us this. There's free energy everywhere, and that's what they don't want us to know. Tesla powered the world's fairs. And JP Morgan, this is the story at least, they shut them down. They're like, well, we can't have free energy because we can't control people. They control you with power. They control you with food, which you guys are going to learn about very soon. And they're controlling us with their fake money. They're playing with monopoly money, right? Go look at monopoly money, compare it to the 1, 5, 10, 20, and 50, and 100. They're the same color. They're mocking us, right? In the game of Monopoly, it says if you run out of money, just get a pad of paper and write some more money on it. That's what they're doing, okay? They don't need money. They don't care. These corporations, they don't need money. It's all about control.
I mean, yeah.
All
So
of these
money's like an
corporations-
imagined reality. We sort of just put belief in it as the people because that's what we're told is
Right.
real.
Money has zero value other than maybe starting a fire with it.
I can agree with
but
that.
It's our belief. You guys are young enough. You guys got to look into cryptocurrency. If the world doesn't completely collapse, cryptocurrency, privacy cryptocurrencies are the wave of the future.
Yeah, we actually
right? It's
we had a
only-
crypto expert on last week actually, just for last week's episode, to give us the whole
Nice.
rundown. So yeah,
Right. So just
I
be,
agree with
just
you
be
on that.
wary though. Be wary of the ones that the government are controlling, like Bitcoin and everything, and stuff like Pirate Chain or Darrow or Monero. Those are coins that are untraceable, that anybody can use and nobody will know that you're using them. So those are the future of freedom. Otherwise, if we go into the Fed coin that they're trying to do, we'll be slaves for 1,000 years.
Man,
How about that?
That's wild. I would love to hear more about that. But before, I actually want to ask you, like, just I guess some like personal questions. Like, have
No.
your views ever burned any bridges with you in terms of relationships? Like, are there people you can't look at the same because they can't see the same way you do, or can you find yourself being friends or being civil with family? Like in I guess like is your friend group right now? Is it like people who view the same thing as you? And view the world the same way as you, or do you find it hard to have those close relationships with people if they're too far estranged from your beliefs?
Great question. We call those people normies, and there's some friends that can't handle it. I don't bring it up where people, I can go out and talk to regular friends and talk about whatever, but it's really not as deep of a relationship that you have with other people that are awake and aware. That's why I created the Friend Finder on the Flat Earth app, where people are now able to message everybody within whatever radius that they want. and start these meetups, and they're happening all over the place. There's people meeting up. People are like, oh my God, there's someone in my town, right? And there's people getting married because of this, right? So,
so you're a match
these
finder
relationships-
in a sense.
Yeah, it's actually
pretty much
it's
a dating
actually-
app all in one.
Yeah,
you know?
you're eHarmony.
It's only a couple of
Zodiac
weeks
map.
old, and it's what's happening with it is incredible. We're having a conference in 2 weeks in February 22nd and 23rd in South Carolina. There's going to be hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of awake and aware people. The thing is,
Just woke.
like just for getting personal, my sister and my brother, we never discuss this. We haven't talked in a year actually, because I really have nothing to say to them because they don't see the world the way I see it. So I don't want to argue with them. So
it'll
don't
just
talk.
spark a never-ending debate where neither person's gonna waver sides, and you've probably been there
and
before.
it's
I'm
like,
sure.
I'm not. And here's the thing: I can go out and talk to anybody, but if they don't want, if they don't want to talk about this, that's fine. Let's talk about other things. But this is a very fascinating topic. This is, you're ignoring this world we live. Here's something that they don't want you to know. There's infinite water. There's infinite food. There's infinite air. There's infinite abundance. There's infinite everything. There's no overpopulation. There's no global warming. There's none of this stuff. Yes, we shouldn't pollute, but did you know that every family on Earth can live in Texas on a quarter of an acre? Okay? There's no overpopulation.
On a quarter
and
of
that's
an
if the
acre?
number is what they tell us.
If you fit
I
them
think
all,
the population is way less. Are you guys familiar with the Georgia Guidestones?
no,
Just if you want to get into it.
not
So
familiar.
in Georgia, right? First, you have to remember this, okay? In the helio-nonsensical model, we're spinning at 1,000 miles an hour. We're orbiting the sun at 66,000 miles an hour. Where's my heliocentric? Here it is. We're orbiting the sun at 66,000 miles an hour. We're chasing the sun at 500,000 miles per hour. And that entire system's moving sideways at over 500,000 miles per hour, right? And so every year we're traveling just in the chasing the sun 4.4 billion miles. But somehow the stars reset every year into the exact same position. Go out tonight, chart where the stars are at a certain time, draw a little chart and say, okay, it's here, it's next to that branch, it's next to my house, whatever. And then put an alarm for next year, same day, same night, same time. And go out and look at the stars. They're in the exact same position. How is that possible if we're corkscrewing through an infinite universe? That is absolutely insanity. And the speeds that we're going, you can't even fathom the speeds, even if I show you. And I am going to show you. This is called the hypersonic sled.
you.
It's Mach 8.6. Watch this. 8.6. Mach 8.6. 8.6 times the speed of sound. If you look that up on YouTube and hear it, the sound is shocking to your body. You have to believe that we are orbiting the sun 10 times faster than that. Okay? And we're chasing the sun 90 times faster than that. Okay? Does that make any sense to you?
Yeah, yeah.
I hope
mean,
not.
it's
The spinning of the
and we have
Earth
lakes-
never has
we
made
have
sense.
lakes
well, it
that
sounds
look like
absurd.
this.
I mean, yeah, when you say it like that, for sure. I mean, yeah.
And we have lakes that look like this. Get a dinner plate, fill it with water, and go for a drive in your car. Tell me how well you handle that. Okay? We have lakes that are perfectly still. You know why they're perfectly still? Test question. Why are they perfectly still?
Because
we're
we're
on a
trapped. We're
flat
trapped by
Earth.
gravity.
Because no, fail. What was the other answer?
Because we're on a flat Earth.
Because we're on a flat stationary Earth. We're not moving. We're
Pass.
not in space. Look, zero budget. Okay,
My answer was
I'm
better.
floating in the space station. All right,
Wait,
Hey,
so
you look just as good as that NASA video. I can't even lie.
that's right. And they get $60 million a day to produce their stuff. $60 million a day.
Are you a Chili Peppers
Okay.
fan, Dave?
I like the Chili Peppers.
You kind of give me,
Space
you kind of give me
Baby-
Chad
wait.
Smith, Will Ferrell drum off vibes. If
Yeah.
you ever saw that on the late night show where they're having a drum off, they have the fitted cap backwards, and I'm like, you kind of
But-
resemble him right now. I
But
don't know what it is.
the Chili Peppers, space may be the final frontier, but it's made in a Hollywood basement. That's a fact.
wow,
he had the
tied that
quote.
together.
Yeah, that's crazy. Wow, that's wild.
Wait, so what
Yeah.
is space then? It's just stationary, stale.
It's a green screen.
So I believe space is water,
Interesting.
and that we
Wow.
live in this bubble, and the bubble is the dome, whether it's physical or it's just pressure. Think about this. If you look in a pot and you're boiling water, the bubbles start forming on the bottom. And now imagine you're a little tiny guy standing inside that bubble. You're on the flat surface with a dome over you and water above you. Okay? We live in this high pressure system. If you and when does it rain the hardest? When does it rain the hardest?
Springtime, yeah.
Usually springtime.
No,
Yeah.
well, no. What kind of weather system?
Tropics.
Does it? Well, no.
Close to the equator?
Good. No. You guys are overthinking it.
Oh.
Low pressure.
Okay, yeah.
When there's low pressure, now a sprinkle, a rain shower, that's completely different. But when we have like a major low pressure system, water comes in. If you've been in a hurricane, the rivers of water come out of the sky, and you have to believe that they're floating in clouds that airplanes can fly through. Okay? Right? Where does all this water come from? It's coming from above, right? This is a low pressure system that allows the water to come in.
Well, yeah, it's coming from above.
Well, so what about this system where we hear it evaporates from the ground, gets brought back up into the clouds, and they store it until it there's this whole cycle that we learned about.
That's called secondary water. They don't teach you about primary water. Below us is infinite water, and above us is infinite water. Okay? So you guys know who Muammar Gaddafi is? He was the leader of Libya that they murdered.
That we killed, yes.
That we supposedly murdered. So he was working on an aquifer project, the largest aquifer project in known history. Took him 40 years. When he was digging for oil, he found an ocean of pristine ancient water. That's primary water. So he said, you know what? I'm going to start funneling this. He was building tunnels, that trucks could drive through all across the desert. And he was distributing water all across Africa. And anybody that wanted to start a farm, he gave them land, tractors, cattle, seeds, water, everything they need. And organic farms were popping up all across Africa. He was going to feed all of Africa. It took him 40 years, and when he completed it, the United Nations went in and bombed it with depleted uranium bombs. It was the biggest atrocity ever. On my YouTube channel, DITRH, I have a Muammar Gaddafi playlist. There's 2 videos on there. If you just search The Great Man-Made River by Muammar Gaddafi on the DITRH, Deep Inside the Rabbit Hole, DITRH YouTube channel, it's a short video. Watch it and learn that we, the United States, is the terrorists.
Yeah, I've heard about these underground lakes, like miles beneath the surface.
It's not a lake. It's the water below the earth is bigger than the globe. Let that sink in.
So what happens? How does this water get through? And why doesn't the whole bubble just pop if some water gets through?
That's a great question. If you go biblical, Noah's floods, God opened up the firmament and let the water come in. Who knows? I wasn't there. I don't know how it works. Again, anything above our heads or beyond the shoreline of Antarctica, we can only speculate.
Okay, interesting. Do you consider yourself a religious man? Does that kind of tie into your...
Absolutely not. Absolutely not. Now, people go, flat earth, it's a religious thing. Well, guess what? You grab 100 people, random people from anywhere, a lot of them are going to be Christians. A lot of them are going to be Muslims. You're going to have all different stuff in there, right? I was full on... I guess I was an atheist all my life. I was looking at all sorts of stuff. I'm like, I don't believe it. I'm a little spiritual, but I don't believe in a God. I believe lightning struck and I evolved from pond scum. That makes perfect sense. My eyes that can see depth and colors and everything and interpret facial expressions. That's all from random mutations. That makes a lot of sense, right? And somehow I believe that our DNA just came from pond scum. I believed all of that. But then one day I was shown that the earth is not from a big bang, it's not random, and that it's intelligently designed. So what does that mean? That means there's a creator. So who is the creator? What is your relationship with the creator? That's your own personal journey. I don't want to know about it. I don't care about it. Okay, that's your own journey. So
Right.
Yeah. So am I religious? Absolutely not. Religion is controlling your mind. Right? Religions were created to steal away your own relationship with the Creator. Is the Bible the Word of God? I don't know. I didn't write it. I wasn't there when it was written. It seems to have a lot of truth in it. again, that's a personal journey. So am I religious? The answer is absolutely not. Do I believe there's a creator? There has to be a creator. There's no other option.
Okay, interesting.
I have a quick question.
Yeah, shoot away.
On your app, are you able to text Kyrie Irving?
You know what? I bet you sooner or later we will.
You're a big Nets guy, huh? You got to be a Nets guy.
So if you were given the
Kyrie,
opportunity,
there's a lot of people out there, and you know the celebrities out there. There's a lot of big television stars that are flat earthers that are talking to us, but we're not allowed to reveal who they are. Like big people that have sitcoms named after their name. Okay, like there's a lot of
Not to say any names.
I'm not saying anything. I can't confirm.
Reba McEntire. We know you're.
Okay.
what were you going to say, Sam?
Yeah, Sammy, what was your question though? You got a question.
So I have a friend that's like given the opportunity to go 100,000 feet in the air, like via this company. If you were given the opportunity to go 100,000 feet in the air, would you take it to go see?
So that company, I know what you're talking about. It's the balloon thing. You get to stay up there for forget how long. But here's the thing. One, I don't believe that they're even going to do it, but there's no reason that they couldn't. We have the technology to put balloons up that high safely with people on them, I'm believing. But guaranteed that the windows are curved. Look through a curved window at any altitude, the horizon will be curved. Okay? The windows will be curved. Period. They can't stick their head out there because there's no air or not enough air. And so when you look through a curved window, you see a curved horizon. But the other thing is, what people don't realize is that the way our eyes work, the way we see is in a circle, okay? Like if you got a hula hoop, put your head in the middle of it and held it at eye level, the edge of that hula hoop is the edge of your vision, we'll just say, just a smaller scale. And that's not a sphere. That's just the edge of your vision. So let me show you how that works. If you're looking forward, you see a certain distance to the horizon. Where is my horizon thing? You see a certain distance. As you look into the distance, the sky and the ground come together and they merge, and that's your apparent horizon. So when I'm looking forward at 12 o'clock, I can see whatever distance. Now, according to globe math, I'm 6 feet tall. The horizon should be 3 miles away. Now, you guys go to the beach on a calm day. Look out. The horizon is not 3 miles away. But according to globe math, the horizon should be 3 miles away. So this is the limit of your vision. The same distance in all directions. Okay? So if I'm standing here and I'm looking, I can see this far at 12 o'clock and 1 o'clock and 2 o'clock and 3 o'clock, right? I can see the same distance. Is that curve? Is that the curve of a ball, or is that just the limit of my vision across the ground? The higher up I go, the farther I can see. Okay? And that's not because I'm looking over a ball. It's the limit of my visions. And then there's also atmospheric conditions, right? So here's an example. You guys seen this floating ship?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, we're
Do you
seeing
think that ship is floating?
It looks like it's floating, yeah.
No, I've seen this.
Do you think it's a mirage? What do you think it is?
I don't know. It looks like a floating ship to me.
Yeah. So this is how your eyes can trick you. This water here has wind on it. The wind line stops right here, and this is really glassy water. And if I drew a line to show you where the actual horizon is, you can see that this is just smooth water reflecting a nondescript hazy sky, and this is ripply water that has a breeze on it. This is the horizon back here. Can you see it now? It's all the same surface.
Yeah. When you put that line there, I mean, I can imagine it. Yeah.
Well, it's not imagining because I can't do it right here. But if you
It's hard
zoom
to see
in
with my eyes right
contrast, you can actually see the little ripples in the water here. There are ripples.
If you were to
here,
zoom in deeply to that, yeah, okay, I got you.
Yeah, you'll see it. Just like this is smooth around this rock right here. This is all just smooth water out here.
Why is the cut
And
so
here's
distinct?
Because there's a over here. There's the edge of the land. There's like a jetty, and then there's just a breeze there. You guys aren't boaters out there. There's breezes, pockets of wind that go by, and then there's holes where there's no wind. This is just one of those. It happens all the time. I'm on the water all the time. I see this all the time. The only difference for me is there's usually land in the distance. So your brain will see the land and go, oh, that's flat. Like if there was land, like if I drew some land, some trees in here,
it would make more sense to my eyeballs. Yeah.
Your brain would be able to see it. You know, the way our minds work is very strange. I'm going to show you an illusion, and then you're not going to be able to remedy. You're not going to be able to get your mind to correct it. So are these two tables the same width and same aspect ratio?
No.
Same width and length?
Yes, no.
No, I would say definitely
Look, they're exactly the same.
Whoa.
Now that I showed you, you still can't remedy it.
No,
But-
that fucked me up.
That looks like the block that they're placing on it looks like it's changing drastically. I don't understand that.
It's not. And I actually did it myself. I took it, I printed this out, I cut it, and I put it, and it's exactly the same. This is a piece of paper, and it's the same size, and it's the way your brain works.
That's tripping me the fuck out.
Right?
That's wild.
up.
And now, usually when you see an illusion, like I showed you with the floating ship, you can, oh, now I see it, right? You can't fix this one.
Yeah, that one's
that
weird.
one's tough.
I can't see it like ever. You know
No,
what I'm
that one
saying?
hurts actually.
That one actually hurts my
Do
brain
you know
physically.
do you know what this is?
That looks like a balloon.
Yeah. Do you know who owns all of the helium companies in the world?
Do not. I
The
do not.
government.
Jason Statham, I thought.
Jason Statham.
NASA.
Yeah.
NASA.
NASA. NASA is the largest consumer of helium in the world. Do you know why?
Because they need to
launched
do
their
anti-gravity.
satellites on balloons. No. All of their satellites are hanging from balloons. There's tens of thousands of these things up there. Okay? Tens of thousands.
What happens when the helium runs out?
They do collect these things, but these balloons are long-running balloons, and they can go up there for over a year, right? They admit they go up there for over a year. And these things are actually crashing all over the world. And they get picked up right away. But people have their iPhones now. They're taking videos, uploading them to the internet. We have tons on the app under What About Satellites.
Oh damn! I'm gonna have to look that up. That's
GPS.
actually interesting.
There's a whole bunch of videos of these crashed balloons and with these satellites on them. They can carry up to 8,000 pounds. And they can control where they go remotely just by changing their I don't know if they actually release the helium or they just change their electrostatic
There's some sort of
potential.
propeller maybe in there or something, or
No, so do you know what spider ballooning is?
No.
Some spiders, they shoot webs in the air and then they electrify them and then it lifts them up because the electricity gives them lift,
Oh,
right? Because
that's
this world,
I've seen that.
gravity is electric in nature, okay? Gravity, the energy coming down to the earth flows downwards into the negative charge of the earth. And so that says everything tries to go downwards. Down is down. It's a weak force. It's like a river. The electricity coming down from the sky is just flowing downwards, and that's why things go down. So we can defy gravity with electricity, not with anti-gravity.
okay,
Right?
okay.
We could-
Yeah, I mean, I want to
Yeah.
check out some of those videos. It's very interesting.
Why can't we like fly better then? I swear.
Humans just
Yeah.
like
Mean
us.
fly back.
Yeah, like with electricity. Like, why don't we have just better?
Well, who says that we can't? That's stuff that they're hiding from us. They don't want us to. They don't want us to know that free energy travel and they call it the secret space program. I call it the secret propulsion program, and they have technology that I believe is anti whatever the frig gravity is. Here's this. You can do this at home. You electrify this with negative charge, and it floats in the air. It's a little tinfoil thing, and when its negative potential gets stronger than the downward flow of energy, it goes up. These are experiments that you can do, things that you can test yourself. Gravity, asked Neil deGrasse Tyson what it is, and he goes, we don't know what it is. But in order to make it work, we need 96% of it to be dark matter and dark energy that no one has ever seen. No one's ever seen it. No one's ever measured it, but it has to be there for their stupid gravity model to work, right? How do they know any of this? This is all pseudoscience. Flat earthers are science deniers. No, we're not. We're actually the ones that use the science. We're the ones that don't believe nonsense and use our common sense. They've gotten people like you and everyone else to give up their common sense. You guys haven't totally given up. You guys are here, you're listening, you're thinking. Here's the thing though. It's much easier to get high, get drunk, and not think about this shit. And just watch movies and waste your entire life. I did it for most of my life. Okay? It was great. Right? Okay? I thought it was great. But once you see reality and see the potential of this world, I figured, you know what? I'm going to do well. You know, I was selling big ticket items. You know, that was my business. And I worked in corporate America 20 years in the printing industry, left the printing industry, went into the solar industry, dominated at one of the largest solar companies, left there, started my own solar company, was making more money than I ever thought, had the American dream, and I walked away from it all for the truth. Because here's what's going on. Right now, guys, you guys are born into tyranny. What's going on right now is worse than anything you've seen in any of your history books, if you studied history. And if people don't get their heads out of their asses and wake up and realize where the hell they are and who they are, we're going to go into 1,000 years of slavery. Okay? That sounds dire, but
No,
that's
I mean,
where
I
we
honestly
are right
believe
now.
that. I believe that for
Yeah.
sure.
That's where we are right now. But here's the thing. It could end tonight. People are like, well, there's nothing I can do. You know, the all-powerful government. The government has no power other than our willingness to comply. Okay?
Fuck the system. I mean, it's just
Yeah.
fuck the system.
That's why the
Look
Bill of
into
Rights
this
are
stuff.
lit.
Why?
Listen, I've got 10 years of homework for you. It's all on stoplookthink.com. 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 Start studying, and it's all done in video format, so it's really easy. Just watch his videos. Watch the videos before you can't watch the videos.
Okay, bet. We got 1 more minute. I think we have to get out of here at 9. So, is there any last words you want to give? We appreciate you coming on. I definitely have a lot of shit I want to check out. I don't know about you guys personally.
definitely.
You just opened the rabbit hole.
Dude,
Quite
$3, get the app.
All right,
Get
you guys
the
heard
app
him. If you
and
guys
watch
want
the daily video every day, the Flat Earth, Sun, Moon, and Zodiac Clock app. Just watch the video every day. You don't need to subscribe unless, of course, you want to start messaging other flat earthers. Don't subscribe. Don't. Right? And you get a pop-up that says, would you like to subscribe? No ads. Exit out. It goes away. It only shows up once a day. So 1 second a day. Get rid of that. You don't have to subscribe. Check it out. Watch the videos. Hit the frequently asked questions. Hit the Tataria mud flood stuff. Find out how all of our entire history is a lie. So check that out. You can find me at flatearthdave.com. Flatearthdave.com. That'll bring you to my website, my podcast, and my YouTube channel is a lot of fun. Very short videos. When I put out a 5-minute video, they're like, oh, you're making a documentary now. My videos are like 2 minutes. And it's DITRH, the initials for Deep Inside the Rabbit Hole.
Deep Inside the Rabbit Hole.
Wait,
Awesome.
One final question.
Yeah, final question.
And
What you
maybe,
got, G?
Just, I mean, it doesn't have to be a long answer, but like, right, if I'm a billionaire, why don't I take a 747 and just fly over Antarctica and just like, will I get shot down trying to fly to the Iron Republic?
3 reasons. 1, you get shot down. 2, nobody becomes a billionaire, or at least until recently. There are some interesting people without being part of the system. Your money is all control, and they don't let people do that. The other thing is, even if they let you, where are you going? There's no way to refuel. There's no GPS. It's dark, and there's no fuel. There's no GPS. There's no compass. You're gonna just crash into the mountains. Okay. For when Admiral Byrd went out there, they had all sorts of support and flying aircraft and radar and all sorts of crazy stuff to help him make his journey. But once you get out there, how are you gonna get back? So again, but in the app, I highly recommend this. In the app, under the frequently asked questions button, hit the Antarctica button, and there's a video in there called Sorry, Antarctica's Closed. One of our lawyer researchers basically shows you how impossible it is to get permission, or even if you didn't have permission, how physically restraining it is to explore Antarctica.
Wow.
Wow. Well, Dave, we really appreciate all your time and effort into everything. Like, you had an answer anytime we had a doubt.
You had a photo.
You had a graph ready, yeah.
Put it
Sure.
on the green
So,
screen.
guys,
Came prepared, man.
I
We appreciate it.
I pointed to 100 doors for you. Don't just take that information and start looking, start thinking. Don't believe. Belief is the enemy of knowing. And that's another thing. If you guys are looking for content, like, turn off the TV. Crow 777 Radio, CRROW 777 Radio. It's the greatest podcast. It's $5 a month, but here's the beauty. There's like over 300 episodes out. Pay for the month, download all the episodes, and then unsubscribe. Okay? And then you can do that. But the problem is you're going to be like, oh, I want to hear what's coming up next week. But do that, and that's better than any college. That's better than any education. It's literally will change your life. Information is power. Okay? If you don't know who you are, where you are, what you are, the power of your mind, and you're believing all of the nonsense in the indoctrination camps and on the news, which steers your mind, news steers your mind, north, east, west, south. It's all steering your mind. They're always telling us what they're doing. They're always giving us clues because they're not allowed to take away our free will. All right? So they always tell us. And if we're too stupid to say no, then we lose our free will. Willingly.
That's some shit.
Well,
Jeez.
Dave, it really sounds like, you're a pioneer in uncovering the truth. I think we all need to question shit more. I definitely am after this episode.
Oh,
And,
yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I think it would be great for us to have a follow-up conversation at some point, if we do dive into this rabbit hole,
we
which
should educate ourselves a little bit, at least give ourselves
Guys,
a
take
chance.
it for a couple months. Take the app.
sure.
Watch the videos. You guys, and let me tell you something. I didn't like school. I was good at school. I did fine. I didn't like it. I liked the social aspect of school. That was fun. This shit is amazing. I wake up at 4 o'clock in the morning. I'm like, oh, awesome. I have so much research to do. Every single day, every day, I'm looking up more stuff. This stuff is better than any movie on Netflix, which is programming your mind. By the way, Netflix is super evil. It's run by the people that are out there to control your mind. It's programming you. This stuff is more fascinating. Look out the window. The world is crazier than any movie you can see. No need to watch movies.
That is bars. That's bars right there.
All right, guys.
Well, awesome.
All right.
Thank you so much, Dave.
thank you.
We had a great
All right,
time.
send me a link when this is up, and
We
I'll
will.
share it. All right.
Yep, we'll shoot it to you, man.
Love you, Dave. Love
Thanks
you.
so much. Have a good one,
Appreciate
brother.
it,
Make a good thumbnail. Make a good thumbnail.
Oh, we got you. Yeah, we're gonna capture your
100%.
best angle.
Peace.
Thanks, Dave.
All right. See
Later,
ya, bye.
handsome.
You were sitting in your bed, had nothing to do. But little did you know there were 4 dudes who like talking shit while sipping their brews. Just make sure your parents don't walk in the room.
Hey, what are you watching?
Nothing, Mom.
I wanna get away from the real world. I wanna get away from the real world. Sports, jokes.
Do you believe in God?
Don't tell your mom, cause it's out of pocket party.